Some of you know what time it is. Some of you do not. Those who do not know, prepare to be enlightened. Chat, it's time for the far too early. Actually, is it even far too early? No, it's been like 5 days. Yeah, it's still kind of early. Actually, well, we've played a lot since, it's probably far too early. But it's time for the season 3.5 tier list. Starting off with Hulk. Chat, I'm not gonna be honest with you. I've always been a big Hulk enjoyer. I've always been high on the Hulk. I cannot put him any higher than a B. And I think B is even pushing it potentially. There's almost never a time to pick Hulk right now. Even Namor team up is not that good. It's only good versus Dive, and like I'd rather play Emma, I'd rather play Thing, I'd rather play counter dive or dive them with Cap. Yeah, there's just not really a reason to pick him. He's like low B, and unfortunately, and I love playing Hulk, but it is what it is. He's just too, it's just, you don't get enough value, and also you get bullied by like half the roster, unfortunately. Groot. That's an easy S. For ranked, I think that, well, I've been playing a lot of Groot since I came back for like at the end of last season, or season 3.0 into 3.5, and I pretty much win almost all my Groot games. You just ban Wolverine and Groot wins. It's actually like an auto win button. It's crazy. I'd argue that Groot might be the best tank in the game. Emma does get banned more though. Because Emma gets banned though, Groot's just farm. Like Emma and Wolf get banned all the time, and so Groot just feasts. So I'd argue maybe Emma is stronger because she gets banned a lot. But even when Emma's in play, I feel like Groot's still better sometimes. I don't know. Oh, this is gonna be an interesting one. All right, chat. I'm high on the Thor buffs. So far, I have not found many uses for the flying air thing. Yes, I know it cancels ults, but I actually think that the Thor Force change, the big one, where you cancel, or when it ends, you immediately get a hammer back. You can use that in so many different ways. B is pushing it low key. Nah, I think there's actually some times where it feels kind of valuable. I haven't played a ton of Thor games, and there's definitely been a one or two where I ended up becoming the government agent. But the couple where I was like, you know what? I think it actually could work here. It worked. And I've played with a couple Thors that all said that the changes feel really good and he feels really strong. And I always kind of thought that he could end up being like a Captain America 2.0 where like he was lurking and was like, okay, but just needed a little buff or two. But I wasn't 100% sure on that because like I wasn't finding much success with him. So I had to say he wasn't very good because like anytime I played him, it wasn't going well. But now I think he's pretty damn good. I don't know. We'll see though. We'll see. Next up is Venom. So Venom is a tough one because if you watched any of the Ignite tournaments, the pro tournament that just happened on 3.0, you probably saw that there was tons of Venom. Like Venom's getting played almost every single game. Venom getting played every single game though is sort of a result of the bans, and also just like organized play has more coordination, so Dive is very strong, which by the way, I don't know if you noticed, but Dive was like all over the place in the tournament. But like you've also had all the Dive emergents for the last like 4 months screaming and telling you that Dive is dead. I did not do that, by the way. I was actually one of the people that said when the Dive got nerfed really hard, I said, hey, I think Dive's actually pretty good. Don't let the Dive merchants tell you that it's dead. I think they're selling you snake oil. That being said, I think Venom in a ranked game is much different than in pro play, but he is still very strong. I'm gonna give him the A. I gotta give credit with those when you encounter the really, really, really good Venoms. They do pull off some crazy work. But he is much more difficult to play than something like Mag or Strange. Very good though. Not insane, not like Groot level, like just pick him and you win, but very good. Speaking of very good, I actually think the Thing buffs were very impactful. Thing is situational, but when he is situationally played, he's actually top tier. When he's situationally played, against Cap, against Venom, against Psylocke, against Spidey's a little bit harder, but you can still do it. Even against like a couple of the Flyers can kind of work now, you know? Thing, you can't pick every game though, because if you play like Thing into Groot, you're gonna get farmed. You actually get hard farmed. If you play Thing into Emma, you get hard farmed. But Emma's banned a lot. If you play Thing into Punisher, you're hard farmed. If you play into Bucky, a lot of times you get hard farmed. So you have to be very careful. It's not like a pick everything, and if they counter swap you, which by the way, I hate to break it to you, but counter swapping is now a thing in Rivals more often than not. If I play Thing, Punisher comes running out. If I play Groot, Punisher or Bucky comes running out a lot of times. So, you know, that's a new one to all have to cope with. But yeah, Thing's pretty good. Mag. I think Mag is still arguably top 3 tank in the game still. The nerf didn't really do much. The nerf didn't do much at all to his bubble. Survivability is still really good. If he has the Emma team up, still crazy. And actually, there's a new combo cooking. Chad, do you guys know about the new combo? You want me to tell you the secrets? You want me to tell you the high elo secrets? So here's the new secret. The secret is to play Mag and Phoenix. And you play Mag, Phoenix, and when Phoenix ults, you throw your ball where the Phoenix ults, and you insta-kill anyone. Especially supports, like Luna, insta, boom, goes boom, dice. So, and especially if you throw in your own Luna damage boost, you kill literally anyone. They just explode. They die. So, yeah, the high rank play a lot of times is... Did you put Thor on B so you don't get flamed by your Thor main followers, question mark, question mark. You think I'm afraid of getting flamed? Brother, I have made a career off of putting my opinions on the internet for 5 years. And I have literally stood 10 toes down if I believe I'm actually right on something. Doesn't matter if people think I'm right or wrong. So to think I'm gonna pander now is crazy. I think he's just better. That being said, Penny, I still don't know how this character has a 60% goddamn win rate. The character's terrible, like still, but like it's strong in certain areas, and like you bump into the really good Penny players and they're scary, but they're not scarier than the really good Groot players or Emma players or Cap players or anything like that. So I don't know what to do, because this is a permaban character from bronze to GM apparently, or diamond, and then once you hit the GM plus, you never see that character banned, and that character doesn't do much. And the only times I lose to Penny, most of the time, it's either the insane Penny players or our whole team is just like chewing on their shoelaces. And they could have literally went AFK and we probably still would have lost, you know? So I don't know what to do. It's impossible. If I had to go and rank these in order, I think I'm probably putting the lowest of the low B behind Hulk, and Hulk's already low B. But even this feels too high in comparison to the rest of the people in the tier. But I have to respect it's got a 60% win rate, and the times you bump into actually good Penny players, they do really well. So I'm stuck. I'm stuck. All right, next, Emma. Arguably best tank in the game. I think Groot is slightly better because Emma gets banned all the time, so like you actually get to play Groot, but there's a reason why Emma's banned all the time. So if Emma's not banned, you can't really get away with playing Groot as much, so you kind of have to give Emma respect. Also, at the same time, it doesn't feel as like a... Okay, let me explain my thought process. If Emma is banned, Groot takes over and can farm a whole lobby if you're a good Groot. Emma being in play doesn't take over a whole lobby. Does that make sense? So like if Emma is unbanned, if you play Emma, the enemy team doesn't, you will not take over the whole lobby. Even like really good Emmas will do well, but it doesn't have this, it doesn't feel as like you're going to literally destroy people, right? Because like Groot, you have like good placement with walls, good damage, and then if you get a good ult combo, like double wall with an ult, you cut through support ults, you just literally farm people, right? Emma doesn't always do that. I feel like if Emma's banned, Groot's potential is higher than Emma being unbanned. Don't know if that makes sense. Strange. I think Strange is really good. The Strange play has gotten so elevated in ranked. I got kidnapped. I got kidnapped today. I was literally reading chat, walking a point, and got kidnapped. Instantly exploded. Everyone's gotten really good at the portal techs, Strange ults, It feels like we're getting really close to people mastering Strange at this point. We're getting real close. It feels like. Feels strong. Can play in any game. Doesn't mean you'll dominate, but can do well. Cap. So Cap, I would say, is actually right here. I'd say he interchanges with Strange, right? So like if you're playing Dive, Cap is better. If you're not playing Dive, Strange is better. But like I would take Cap over Venom. Does that make sense? So actually, if you watched any of the tournament this weekend, there was tons of Cap played or banned. They actually banned a lot of Cap to force teams onto Venom. So it's funny. A lot of people have been saying for so long. You know what? I think my last tier list. I said Cap was still really good, and I got hard flamed again. People are like, dude, crap, Cap's terrible. They nerfed his survivability in the ground. He sucks now. And it turns out, hey, he's still fine. You know, hey, funny how that keeps happening. You know what I mean? Regardless, though, Cap's really good. Cap is actually difficult to play into Emma. That's why the reason I thought you actually said Emma. It was good into Cap. Cap is strong. Emma's good versus Cap. Thing can actually be good versus Cap, but not as good as Emma. But Cap just creates a lot of opportunities, which is pretty strong. You know what I mean? It's pretty strong. All right, BP. BP got a small nerf, and I don't think it did much. But in ranked, I think BP is still exceptionally strong. But I've actually seen significantly less BP. And he's not getting banned as often. And he's available, and people still aren't playing him. So I personally think BP is still pretty strong, because the only difference that he has now is his shift dash is a 2-second longer cooldown than it was at the start of the season last season. And the cooldown only matters if you miss. So if a good BP is still doing all their combos, it doesn't matter because they wouldn't have missed. So the cooldown doesn't make a difference, right? I will say though, I wouldn't be surprised if a BP nerf is coming after what happened at the show match. Yeah, I agree. So tough luck to the BP players. Although I will say he has not been played as much, so not sure. Black Widow. Unfortunately for Widow, I just don't think there's any place for her in their current state. If you have an insane Widow player that has a Mantis damage boost and is doing a ton, it still would be better to just play Hela or Phoenix. Like, even if they're hitting all their shots, but imagine if they hit all their shots on Hela or all their shots on Phoenix, you know? Like, you can win. Like, just because a character is in quote D tier does not mean you can't win on the character. It doesn't mean you can't do well on the character. It just means you have to literally min-max 10 times harder than characters higher up on the list, you know? So it's tough. It's just how it is. So Blade. So I actually held off in this tier list a little bit because I was pretty decently confident in it until Blade was going to get fixed, because everyone said, oh, Blade's broken. His lifesteal is like bugged. Turns out apparently it's not bugged. At least that was like the word on the street, was it actually wasn't bugged. So Blade is unfortunate because I feel like Blade feels really good in mid-range, but feels terrible up close. Like, you can win 1v1s, sure, if you catch someone 1v1ing on the flank, maybe. But, like, it's really not that useful. And the life still doesn't keep you up very much. I'm actually really maybe harsh on Blade. I played some games with Craggy on Blade, and we were comboing Groot Blade combos, and we actually cut through supports, and it felt really good. And it felt like maybe it had unlocked potential. I'll say this. I think Blade is potentially like a Human Torch situation, where I think we all are not good enough yet, and we all have a skill issue where we haven't learned how to play the character correctly to understand how strong it is. Just like how we didn't know with Torch. Granted, Torch got some changes, and then got some of those changes taken away. Regardless, though, I think there's a good chance that maybe we just suck. Everybody, right? And it has potential. But at least at this current stage, August 13th, where we're a week into the season, I have not seen Blade played almost all in my ranked games. Anytime someone plays Blade, they typically get farmed, unless their name is Craggy, and they're on my team, and we roll. Other than that, it just kind of... So, unfortunately, a bit underwhelming for the new hero of the season. Hawkeye. This might get a little controversial. I actually think Hawkeye's not very good now. I think with Dive being really strong and people understanding it's really strong, and the tanks like Mag and Strange being really strong and being like really oppressive, like upfront shields. And if you're talking about poke, you're going to probably play Phoenix, you're going to play Hela, you're going to play Punisher, you're going to play Bucky. Hell, even Squirrel Girl, I'd take over Hawkeye. You have to hit consistent headshots, and it's too difficult to do that. I don't think he's worth playing. He's just way too mid-max. You have to hit every single shot, and a lot of people are not hitting every single shot. Even the best players don't hit every single shot. So, unfortunately, I gotta put him pretty low. Hela, Hela is still really good. I'm gonna actually be putting Hela in the A tier, though. I don't think I'm gonna put Hela straight up in S. I think S is reserved for a couple other characters I have in mind. That being said, Hela is still really strong. Really, really strong. But there's stronger picks. Like, Hela gets played a lot because a lot of these other characters get banned. Does that make sense? So, other characters get banned, those characters get banned, Hela gets played. Actually, let me fix this a little bit. I think Hela's more played than BP. Human Torch is an S tier. I would say the best DPS in the game. Still, Torch is a permaban every single mother game. Even with Hela existing, even with Phoenix existing. If Hela and Phoenix were so good, Torch would not be permabanned every single game because you could just kill him, because you just snipe him out of the sky. It literally doesn't matter if Hela and Phoenix are really, 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 really good. It doesn't matter because Torch is just that goddamn good. And it also dedicates a lot of resources to him. So Torch, really good. That guy's insane. Don't know what else to say about that one. Iron Fist. I don't think the team up has done much for Iron Fist. I think he's pillow hands a little bit. You know, they kind of took away his niche. Like, he used to be really good at diving backlines, and then they made him a tank buster, and then they took away the tank busting. So now he just kind of exists. I got nothing else. He's just annoying. He's legitimately just annoying. There has not been a single extremely scary Iron Fist that I've played against. Like, I've had ones that are really annoying and really good at the game that like get in and get out, get a kill or two, maybe sometimes here and there, but they don't carry. Like, they almost rarely ever carry. They're really good at staying alive though. Like, really good at staying alive. Gotta give them credit on that one. All right, Iron Man. I actually think Iron Man is slept on. I think Iron Man is slept on. I don't think he's the best flyer, but I don't think he's as bad as some people make him out to be sometimes, versus because of like the hit scans that are available. But I don't think he's like a play every game type of character. He's my go-to DPS. He's my go-to DPS on console. He isn't. Well, you don't think he's good on console, or he's really good on console? I feel like he'd be really good on console. He's just a Squirrel Girl of the Sky. Yeah, I agree with that. Just Squirrel Girl of the Sky. If anything, I'd argue better than Squirrel Girl, slightly, just for ult, because like you can cut through support ult with it. So that's it. Magic. Magic, I think, is a really good ranked demon, but I'm also not super bought into the hype. I remember in season 3.0, everyone was saying Magic was OP for a little bit because apparently like Necros made a video or something like that, and then everyone was like trying to meme him and be like the all hail plankton memes. I saw all the TikToks everywhere. I can't. I'm not like super high on Magic. Like, I think Magic's good, but I still don't understand where like the insanity, like, oh my god, she's insane, like came from. The video was just plain sarcasm. What, the Necros one? The one, I mean, I didn't see the video. I just saw the TikToks of being like, oh, he said that ban Magic, so now, and then people would just make the all hail plankton ones. It came from her win rate, that's why. I mean, yeah, her win rate has always been high though. Her win rate's been high since season 0. Literally since season 0. She's been a top 5 consistent, I think she's been top 5, I think. Top 5 consistent win rate character for a very, very long time. So, it's still really good. Like, if you get like an insane Magic player on your team, I'm always excited, but I'm not like scared of them. You know what I mean? I'm not like really scared of him. It's very rare that there's like a scary one. Mr. Fantastic, I hate to do it to you, but I gotta throw you in the D. I'm sorry, Mr. Fantastic. There's almost never a time where Mr. Fantastic feels strong in the games I play. The only good thing about Mr. Fantastic is he hits shift and doesn't die. That's it. I think that people have figured out how to play against him. That's it. Once they figured out how to play against him, that's whatever. He's goated. I understand in the metal ranks, he probably goes crazy. You're bronze through plat, maybe even diamond. He goes crazy. I've heard. I know. I'm not oblivious. You gotta understand though, this tier list is my perspective. And from what I see in my games. And I know, for example, that's why Penny has her own tier right there. They're about as scary as the Widow players, where if you bump into like the best of the best, you might have a problem. L take, don't really care, man. You're allowed to have a different opinion, but like, I'm telling you from all, like, you go search my profile right now. Go look up my profile and go through all my games and check through the VODs and see how many Mr. Fantastics you see. Go through it. My profile is public because I'm not afraid. Go look, go find it. Go through all my previous ranked games and find one. Find a few. See if you can. And if you do find one, see if it's more than played in a few seconds, and maybe if it's just like, you know, a troll last second swap, you know? That's it. Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight is in a bit of an unfortunate place where he's like not bad, but he's not good. Like, every time you bump into one, you think it's gonna be scary, and then it ends up not really being scary. Like the Groot combo's gone. You can't do the Groot Moon Knight combo really. It doesn't really work much anymore. And you don't really need it for Groot anymore because like Groot's like evolved. You've learned how to like combo without it. But he's good at poking backlines. You actually poke backlines really hard, like throwing the Unk like really deep instead of farming tanks, you farm backline. And if they're just like not paying attention, you might get a free kill. But they're just better characters, just better things to pick. Namor. Namor with the team up, I'd say is about a B. So like if you're struggling against dive and you really need something to pick, Namor with the team up is probably about a B. Without the team up, I don't know if I'd put him in the B, but you almost never play Namor without the team up. Like Namor almost never gets played without the team up. And I remember in previous seasons, like season 2.5 previous, the difference in Namor's win rate between having the team up and not having the team up was somewhere around 5 percentage points. I think it was like 52% win rate with the team up and a 46 or a 47% win rate without it, which is a massive swing. It's a huge swing. So most of the time you only play Namor with the team up. And with the team up, he's okay, but you don't really want to unless they play dive and you're struggling as a team. So that's how it is. Phoenix. So Phoenix will actually be joining us as in the S tier alongside Torch. Phoenix is really good. It's like similar to Hela, almost the same thing as Hela, but the difference between Hela and Phoenix is that people have figured out how to combo the ult with Phoenix right now. So like the Mag combo ult or like the Luna Snow damage boost team up, or not team up, sorry, Luna Snow damage boost, you can actually cut through a lot of times. So Phoenix has become very valuable for that, as well as Phoenix is really good at just like brawling. Like she doesn't play like far away, she plays like mid-range. She plays like right behind the tanks, and you basically just like deal out huge damage, but like you're frontlining, but not super frontlining. Does that make sense? What's the Mag combo? You gotta go back, I already talked about it. Psylocke. Psylocke also goes in the S tier. Psylocke got played tons in the tournament, gets played a ton in ranked. Arguably, I'd say the best dive hero in the game. So anyways, Psylocke really good. Witch. Okay, so Witch with the team up, I think is actually not horrendous. Like probably over here actually, with the Strange team up, it's actually like somewhat playable. That being said, without it, easy D. But with the Strange team up, it actually can get value. I've bumped into a couple good Witch players and they can do it. They definitely can. So you gotta give it some respect. Spidey. I think Spidey has made it somewhat of a return, like, not return, sorry. Return's not the word. He's better now. Like he gets played more often and he can get value, but he's not like broken. Like you have to be really good at the character. And it's rare to bump into really insane ones. And unfortunately, Spidey is one of those characters where if you do go like the Emma Emma, Thing. Who else? Oh, Ultron. Oh god, if you get an Ultron, Spidey kind of like can't play the video game. The Torch team up is still bad. Oh yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. I'm not even talking about the team up. I don't think the team up really means a whole lot for Spidey at all. I'm just talking about him in general. But yeah, Ultron actually is. Ultron triple support is probably the best thing to shut down Spidey. Squirrel Girl. I think Squirrel Girl low-key underrated. I think Squirrel Girl has slowly creeped her way up the tiering over time. Like every time they give her like small little micro buff here, micro buff there, micro buff here, micro buff there. There are some maps where I think playing against a Squirrel Girl that knows her positioning is spooky. It doesn't happen too often though, but when it does happen, oh my god, you feel like you're getting kicked in the dick. Once people figure out you can't just sit there and spam, she gets really good value. I mean, even the spam on some maps actually is kind of insane. Arako, she's really good at breaking spawn holds too. Like any spawn hold gets cooked by Squirrel. Tank heavy comps get cooked. Groot kind of gets cooked. I think if anything, Squirrel is like one micro buff away from probably becoming like meta. Star-Lord. So last tier list, I put Star-Lord in a C. I thought he was probably fell off quite a bit, or he wasn't as good. I think he's even worse now. And the reason why I think he's even worse is because he lost res comp, and that was the #1 thing keeping him in a minute, at least in my opinion. I have not seen a single Star-Lord since they removed res comp. I'm actually it's crazy talk to put him any lower, but probably actually over here. The TP is actually insane, but yeah, then you have a Rocket on your team. You don't even play him LOL. I know that's like the most famous TikTok own is like, you don't play the character, what would you know? What would I know? What would I know? The guy who's been top rank in multiple hero shooters for, we're counting before my streaming career, 7 or 8 years now. What would that guy know? Yeah, couldn't tell you. Storm. I think Storm's actually really good. Actually, I think if anything, Storm's underrated. I think Storm is very underrated. Doesn't actually get played enough. Really strong. Especially if you're playing like Brawl. Like if your team plays hard Brawl and your Storm is like enabling everybody doing big damage boost, I think it actually does do a lot. Although I think like this might sound insane, but stick with me. Thing is one of the only Storm is one of the only flyers I like playing Thing into. I don't know what it is, but like I'm not afraid of Storm on Thing, and I love punching her out of the sky, and I feel like I farm Storm for some reason. Like the other flyers, it doesn't happen too often, maybe because she's a bit slower, but that's the only thing that kind of like really keeps me from being like, I don't know, she's insane, but even so. Anyways, Punisher. Punisher is easily a nice little A tier as well. Really good into Groot, who gets played a lot. He kind of just can get played anywhere. You play the shotgun playstyle versus dive. Ult is still insanely powerful when you get it. It just takes forever to get it now. But definitely not like a game in and game out type of character. There are definitely games, especially if like mag's available, like it's probably not a good idea. You're probably gonna get nuked, you know? Unless you have mag on both teams, and then like you play like the war where like your mag's trying to bubble you and bait the bubble and bait the mag ult and all this other stuff. So it is what it is. Bucky. I'd argue Bucky's probably better than those two. Punisher and BP. Gets played a lot. He's good into Groot. Really good into Loki. Pretty good into Phoenix. Helps with Psylocke. Helps with dive. Helps with cap dive. Helps with Venom dive. I don't know if I'd say better than Hela. You know what? I actually do think he's better than Hela slightly. Because he has more times to be useful. For example, if there's a Loki, for example, there's dive, and he's also just strong in general. So, yeah, I actually think Bucky's probably on the upper end of A, probably better than some of the others. Okay, and then last but not least, Wolverine. So Wolverine got nerfed in 3.0, and I really did think that was going to be enough without the Phoenix team up. And to be honest with you, I actually don't know if it was or not. And the reason why I don't know if it was or not, because everyone still bans Wolverine every single game. So I kind of have to say, you know, I got to keep him up in S. You know, maybe I was wrong putting him in A tier last season, like for 3.0. But I'm also wondering how much is just PTSD. Because he gets banned every single game. There's never a game where Wolverine's in play. And if Wolverine is in play, we just play like Emma Bag and he doesn't get played. But if you try to play Groot, oh my God, you get eaten alive. I don't know what's going on in that department, to say the least. I actually think he's... I thought the nerfs would be enough, but he's literally banned every single game. So I can't not put him in S. He's literally banned every single game. And if there is Wolf, he's scary because like that means like the tanks got banned. You ban like Mag, you ban like Emma. You know? So, I don't know. Adam. Listen, I'm probably going to get flamed again. It's going to happen. I think Adam is insane. I think there's one thing that keeps Adam from being played a ton. I think there's one thing and one thing only. He actually just like a third DPS. He's good against dive. I really wish it was more socially acceptable to play Adam. I wish it was more socially acceptable. I think he can work. I actually think he could potentially even work in 2 support. As long as the other one's like Cloak or Luna. I think he actually could do it. I think he can work. I think he really can. I think he can, but no one actually wants to trust it. In the couple games where I've been forced onto support and I get to play Adam, I farm. I've done well with it. I've had teammates that do well with it. But you know what always ends up happening? Everyone screams, we need a Loki. And you run Loki Luna. That's the thing that keeps him in check. And everyone's too scared to break away from the meta and break away from the Loki Luna. They're too scared. And you know what? They're not wrong because Loki Luna is broken. But that being said though, my goodness, I think this man is on the precipice of being insanely good and strong and playable, even in a 2 support comp, but no one wants to do it because they're scared. They're cowards. They are so brainwashed into playing only Loki Luna that they're afraid to expand their brain onto the horizons of what could be. Anyways, Cloak and Dagger is definitely an S tier though. Not quite as good as the other 2 that I'm going to talk about in a minute, but definitely insanely good. I would say not as good as Luna Loki, but Luna Loki are still really good. And if one of those gets banned, you can just play Cloak and Dagger and you get away with it. Really good. Hey, listen, I got flamed I was one of the first people that said it was still high on Cloak and Dagger. And you know what? I'm never gonna let you forget it. I'm not gonna let it go because everyone flamed me for it. And then it was all over the tournaments and everywhere. And guess what? Everyone started playing Cloak and Dagger after. You know what? Anyways, you know what? Now we want to really ruffle some feathers. Invis B tier. Invis B tier. Say, hey, listen. Hey, I'm sorry. Listen, I think Invis, unfortunately, is not good. I think there is a massive gap in the tournament. The tournament that happened, the finals tournament, the Ignite tournament, was the biggest indicator of how far of a gap there is between Invis, Cloak and Dagger, Luna Loki. There is a 9-mile long gap. Her ult is trash in comparison. Comparison to those, the Cloak and Luna, trash in comparison. It's not even close. It's not even close. The one thing she's good at is punishing Venoms when they're going in and out or Cap going in and out. It just doesn't last long enough. Even the healing of it is not that insane. And you know what? It doesn't move like the other ones. That's the big one. The Luna and Cloak ults both move. Invisible doesn't move. You put it down and that's it. That's it. You can't move it. Unless you're on one of the maps where the maps moves in and it moves for you and you get fucked. But because of that, you can't play aggressive with it. You can't push enemy teams out. You can't push them back. Yeah, you can put it on like a circle that does push them back, but like once they back away from it or they play in it, that's it. There's no like, where's this going, you know? It's much more predictable. It's shorter. It doesn't provide any other utilities. And also, hey, listen, I think the best thing Invis brings to the team is the team up with Torch. If you have a Torch, you play Invis so the Torch can go crazy. That's it. And Torch is banned every game, so there's no point. I spoke my truth. And speaking of speaking my truth, this little guy was getting banned this weekend. Banned! He was getting banned! And they were playing him like a third support / DPS, and it was going crazy. I don't think you can do that though. I don't think you're that guy, though. I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. I don't think you're that guy. I don't think I am either. I don't think any of us are that guy. I don't think any of us are. I am half thinking about putting it in the B tier, though. I am thinking about it. If I did do this, you need to listen to everything I say, and only everything I say. If you don't agree, I'm putting it back at C. I'm putting it back at C. No, you have to agree. Here's the sauce. The sauce is, you ever watch me play quick play Jeff at night? That is actually the sauce. I'm not joking, but like turn it up to actually like a good level, right? The way they played it was they played it as an off-angle support that literally assisted the dive. And so Cap Venom would dive in with a Psylocke. And those three, and Jeff would be way off on the flank spraying. And the Jeff spray would do just enough damage to help the Venom Slam or Cap Slam and Psylocke shot make someone disappear. And so he was always used as like a supportive heal / damage boost onto backlines. And he was basically the old Demon Jeff, but in a new version. The ult didn't really do too hot, but there was 1 or 2 big ults, but otherwise his ults really tough. It's really kind of like a press Q to die button. And actually so much so, there was a full fight at one point where they were fighting in overtime where Jeff had ult for like 2 minutes and he did not ult because ulting would have either caused A, his team to step off point, or B, he would have just died instantly. So I will keep him there. I will keep the little shark there, but only play that little shark in triple support on control only. Only on control maps. So the maps where there's just a point in the middle, the reason why you play it on those maps specifically is because those maps are a deathmatch map. A lot of times control statistically in hero shooters is the least coordinated mode. Because all they need to do is capture the point and then it's TDM. In things like payload, escort, hybrid, stuff like that, there's more coordination around the map, around holding point, on holding the cart, pushing for space, whatever. But in deathmatch type setting, something like Jeff actually does well. All right, chat, let's just get this over with, right? Here's number 1, here's number 2. Do I really need to say a whole lot? There's still the 2 best supports in the game. Luna Loki, you get 24 seconds of nobody dying, plus you can combo the Phoenix ult or the Mag ult with the damage boost, and they just explode, and you have the Loki rune. There's not much else to really say. They're just both insane. I've been telling you Luna Loki has been the best support line in the game and the best 2 characters in the game for 3 seasons, and I still get people that argue with me every time. Those people are not worth arguing with anymore. If you want to be blind, be blind. No one can help you. Anyways, moving on to Mantis. So this is a tough one. Mantis was actually a perma ban / perma save in the tournament this weekend, and I actually don't know why. I assumed because they were trying to make res comps work, and by saving Mantis, it would force a Atom ban, or if it didn't force the Atom ban, there were certain damage boost combos worked really well with Mantis, but based on the comps they were playing, I actually don't know what those damage boost comps would have been. The only one that sticks out is Cloak and Dagger / Luna, Ultron, Mantis. That's the only one that really stuck out. Or the Venom damage boost. You're right. The Venom one. The Venom one actually was pretty good. You're right. So like you'd play Venom, Mantis, Ultron, Cloak and Dagger / Luna. Because of that, I think Mantis is pretty damn good. Maybe even worthy of an A. But even so, I have not seen almost any Mantis played even after the buffs and the changes. Because here's what Mantis does. Mantis has a team up with Loki, where you get the bigger fields, and you also get the damage boost, right? But then you just play Luna Loki. Just play Luna Loki instead, right? You don't play Mantis Loki, because then your Loki has no one to copy. So you have to play triple support. And if you're going to play triple support, right? Why are you playing triple support? A lot of times you play triple support versus dive. And Ultron is better versus dive than Mantis, at least, from what I've seen. Or even Jeff. is better in the triple support, depending on the map. Or Adam is actually pretty decent. So, can't Loki copy Mantis? But Mantis ult is not very valuable. If we're talking about copy on Loki, you want to copy Luna. You want to copy Cloak and Dagger. Those are the two best things you can copy. Mantis is really not that valuable for her ults. Like, it's good, it's okay, but it's not that valuable. Didn't they buff it? I don't care. We're still talking about Loki and Luna. We're talking about Cloak and Dagger. They're not even close. You don't want to copy that for ult. It's not worth it. It's not useful. By running Loki Mantis, you put yourself at a significant disadvantage. And then if you run triple support, Jeff would even be better. Ultron would be better. So where does she fit? And that's where I say I don't know why she was getting banned this tournament this weekend. I actually am not sure. I'm pretty sure it was to try to save res comps without banning out or enforcing out an Adam ban, but I'm actually not 100% sure. You're sleeping on the value of her sleeps? That's sleeping on whataboutism, because like every character in the game brings something. Everyone always, like you can say that about any character in the game. Like if I have Widow in D tier, you could tell me I'm sleeping on Widow's one-shots, or I'm sleeping on Widow's anti-dive potential, or you're sleeping on Widow's ult. Or Fantastic, you're sleeping on his anti-dive potential, right? Like every character in the game has things that they're good at, but it's like in the grand scheme of the current game, whose abilities mesh the best and who's bringing the most power to the fight. That's the point. And one sleep every 15 seconds is not more valuable than Luna's damage boot, or sorry, piercing heal and piercing damage clap, Loki's rune, and also ability to copy other supports. Cloak and Dagger's amazing survivability and also amazing ults. Like it just, you know. Rocket's a tough one. Rocket, unfortunately, is in a Phoenix meta. And so he's just kind of worse. I was gonna put him in C. I really was. Like I was lining this whole thing up to put him in C. But looking at the list, I think he's about as niche as Jeff is. He's about as niche as Invis is. And so I don't think I can put him lower than those two. But I'd probably say is the worst of these four. Not unplayable, but when Phoenix is available, your ult basically doesn't exist. And then a lot of people have learned to just shoot the ult. The best things for him are just like he doesn't die, and the res. Res is really, really powerful, you know? That's a tough one though. I don't think he's like all of a sudden terrible though. It's just, I don't think it's his meta. I think the meta has just really just been pushed against him. And then last but not least, Ultron. So Ultron's a very interesting one because Ultron, I think, is like very powerful against dive in triple support. And so you basically just do this. You either A, just put a drone on one of your flankers and just let them go do things. Or B, you basically just put a drone on your backline and you just play together. And you're a third DPS, but you heal. And so you give just enough healing for your supports to stay alive from the dive. And then you basically use his ult as a DPS button. And you just do DPS to the enemy team. So not valuable everywhere. Spawn holds well. True, the spawn, like the goat spawn hold is actually really strong. Goat spawn hold is actually really strong. You just put your drone on your 3 tanks that are just frontlining, and then you just farm ult faster than everyone else in the game. Like Ultron, I think gets ult faster than almost anyone in the game. I think Ultron consistently has the first ult every single game. So you gotta give him credit. I don't think he's like I don't think he's better than the top 3. Obviously, you're Luna, Loki, Cloak and Dagger, but works. He's just a DPS with a support, like a healing drone. Real talk. So there you go. There is your 3.5 or season 3.5 tier list. There's a few things I think that might change here with time. Blade is a big one. Blade's the big one I think will change with time. And I'm still keeping an eye on Squirrel Girl. I'm keeping an eye on Jeff. Keeping an eye on Mantis. But everything else, I think is pretty spot on. So there you go. There's your season 3.5 tier list. Oh yeah, the new YouTube disclaimer. And where you think you're going, bitch? Get your ass back there. Go back and watch the whole damn thing, because you're gonna look at something like, I don't know, in Blade and C and go, hey, why is this is such a bad tier list? Why is this in C? Well, you'll find out when you go back and fucking watch it. So go back and fucking watch it. Don't skip to the end.